New Orleans City Council has just stopped short of taking away the mayor's Pontalba apartment. Council President J.P. Morrell proposed an ordinance to put the apartment back into public use and allow the city to gain $3,000 a month in rent. But Councilmember Oliver Thomas offered an amendment that would allow the mayor to continue to use the apartment for public use, but not for residential occupancy. The amendment also prohibits overnight stays. Morrell objected to that amendment, saying that it did not go far enough, but a majority of the council voted in favor of allowing the apartment to remain under the mayor's control. Morrell predicted today's vote would come back to haunt the council. We'll have more on this story on later newscasts here on Fox 8.